In order to continue providing support to the people of Old Providence, the Air Force, along with the other institutions and entities, are preparing for the 14th, 15th, and 16th of July, on which the Health Brigade will be developed in the municipality. Colonel Luis Fernando Corral Patarroyo spoke about the aircraft that have transport doctors and hospital supplies for the Humanitarian Medical Day in Old Providence.
Hemos trasladado tanto personal médico.
We have both medical personnel and civil defense personnel, military personnel, and others to comply with this activity that will be carried out from July 14th through July 16th. The community can register at the Health Secretariat and the Mayor's office in Old Providence.
About these tons of medicines and hospital instruments were transported from the U.S. Air Base Jose Enrique Soto Cano, located in Honduras. In the aircraft Hercules, the medical team of the Joint Task Force Bravo also arrived, and they will participate in the mid-national exercise Medrete on Old Providence.
Se cuenta con
a total of 2 medical specialties are available to attend to the different health needs for this day.
The C-40 Atlas aircraft transported more than 5 tons of humanitarian aid in an interinstitutional work with the National Unit of Disaster Risk Management. More than 11 tons of humanitarian aid, mobile medical offices, biosecurity kits, medicines, mattresses, and personnel from the Colombian Civil Defense, who will support with the logistics of the installation of medical attention points on the island of Old Providence.
And entities such as the National Police, Cotelco, Odors, Anato, Coralina, and several secretaries were in a meeting yesterday for the recovery of public spaces. Here is the note.
With the objective of regulating the use of public space, the Planning Secretariat has been working hand in hand with the different entities of the island, where yesterday they met to discuss the coastal space. The Secretary of Planning, Angélica Hernández, explained what it is about.
La idea es que podamos preservar.
The idea is that we can preserve the landscape or the ecosystems that are there, and that each one of them will abide by a regulation that is not in place, and that we can define the competencies of the entities to intervene.
On the other hand, the Secretary gave the conclusions of the meeting.
Primero, que todas las secretarías.
First, that all the secretariats of the local government will establish a board to have clear what are their competencies and functions, and we will have a work table meet again with the entities to define an action plan according to the competencies of each one.
Finally, Hernandez announced that they will do the same verification and control in the pedestrian zone.
Lo mismo queremos hacer con el tema de la peatonal.
We want to do the same in the pedestrian pathway zone to control and monitor what is happening in that area and in the rest of the island in terms of public space, which has an ordinance and a decree that regulates it, and that we will urge the merchants who use public space to comply with this regulation and to bring everyone's situation into order.
The Secretary announced that for this Saturday they will be visiting the pedestrian pathway zone to make an analysis on how to recover the space in the place.
People from the community denounce bad odors in the Spratt bight sector. Our journalist Alice Medina from this point give us some more information.
Good evening, Lisa and Aldi TV viewers. I say hello from here, from the Spratt bight sector, because in the hours of the morning we talked to a person who wants to denounce that from the very last month they are feeling very bad odors in this sector of the island, in the Spratt bight sector, a very touristic zone of our island. This is what the denounced person told us.
A small concern regarding the beaches of Spratt bight. When I go out every day to jog along the sides of the old civil defense to the sides of the Zona Rosa, there are some horrible odors. First, some smells of human excrement. I have analyzed that there are some huts for the guardians of the bay, but nowadays they have been taken by the homeless as their dormitory. There are also some bushes that have been planted and that have been used as a restroom.
Jesus Martinez then want to make a call to all the authorities to take place and to help in this situation in the sector of our island.
It is a pity that this is happening on the island of San Andres. It is important that officials from the local government come up with a solution, because it's really sad.
This is all the information we report from here from the Spratt bight sector. We will continue attentive to the development of this news. Lisa with more information in studio.
Thank you, Alice. And in other news, preparations continue for what will be the virtual celebration of July 20th at the national level, which has resulted in the closure of some roads in the department.
Since yesterday, the preparation for the pre-recording of the simultaneous parade at the national level for the 20th of July, members of the police force have gathered at the Newell Avenue in order to conduct rehearsals for the recording that is expected to be held in the coming hours. Authorities of the departmental cabinet were also present at the meeting site to also be participants in this parade. However, it is valid to note that due to the road closures at the Newell Avenue in the morning hours, there has been heavy congestion in the alternative route, which is the 20th of July Avenue. However, at the time, normal traffic flow is reported.
And the government continues to develop the Traceability and Sustainable Selective Isolation Test, Spratt for its acronym in Spanish, tracing the contacts of patients with the virus to identify who has been positive.
Spratt tests continue to be carried out in the department, which seeks to identify and stop the spread of COVID-19. This strategy is being advanced by each of the sectors of the island. The Secretary of Health gave a report on the strategy for the months of June and July.
El balance que se tiene de
The Spratt Day report for the month of June shows that there were 1,177 samples applied, of which 204 were positive. This represents a 17% positivity. So far until July 12, we have 485 practical samples yielding 58 positive, which is equivalent to a positivity of 12%. Although during the first days of June, the comparison is very similar, we can therefore have almost a very similar trend or maintain that percentage for the month of July as well. Now, for this week, the campaign will be on Tuesday and Wednesday in the Morris Landing neighborhood, Thursday in Mission Hill, Friday in Maymount, and Saturday in the sector of Barrick.
The health portfolio asks citizens not to crowd in the sectors where these tests are being carried out.
And the Nelly Downs community near to the Sopesa offices have also blocked the road in Old Providence. According to the first verifications, they expressed their dissatisfaction with the slowness in the reconstruction process. In our central broadcast, we will develop what has been happening with this news. And now we continue with all the sport news of our department.
Hello, here are the best sports of the islands. The winds of the islands are in favor of kite surfing, a sport that continues growing in our islands. San Andres is a paradise for many athletes, for its beaches and sea of 7 colors. Also today is practiced one of the most beautiful and demanding extreme sports in water sports, kite surfing. It is a sport that is growing and attracts many sportsmen. We interviewed the instructor Humberto Castrillon, who explained details of this extreme sport.
I have been doing this sport for about 8 to 9 years. It is done here in San Andres Islands. The moment you begin to practice this sport, it is a thing of beauty. You practice and your entire body keeps up in shape. And it is done here on San Andres Islands. More than all, on the beaches of Spratt, Bight and St. Louis, we can also practice this sport.
This is how Castrillon described the equipment they use in this sport.
Mainly equipment that goes to the measure of the person, the weight, the size, and what she or he likes to do the most. That depends on the weight of the person and the kites according to the number of winds that they have. This is a bar that goes with the kite when they go to take classes here in San Andres Island.
Kite surfing is a passion, and San Andres has the best scenario for this sport.